It's there. Great. Awesome. So welcome, Nadia. I'm glad to have you.
Thank you so much. Happy to be.
Awesome. So we're gonna get this started in a few seconds. Gonna get this going, just making sure everything is good up here. Let's pin that to the top of the
Yeah,
page.
absolutely.
And I'll add it to the story too, real quick. Let me see if it'll let me paste it. Hold on. All right. Good, good. So we're talking about Nadia. I hope you got your craft ready. I hope you got your.
Yes, I have my plain piece of paper. I'm not an artist. However, I'm going to work with the little bit of artisticness that's happening right
Yes.
now.
No worries. I know it is there.
So
It
yes, absolutely.
okay. You don't hear any feedback, right?
No feedback.
All right. Good. Good. All right. So we are good to go. All right. Let me just see this here. All right, everyone. So we are talking about business today. Business, and while we are uh, doing our crafts, while we're talking about this subject, we're talking about business essentials today, right? We know it's an essential time, and one thing that's definitely been an essential part of the world is business, of course. We know that. So today we're going to be talking about business essentials, but while we're doing that, we are going to be doing a craft. So if you see us a little, looking a little distracted, we're doing something, we're working on something that will show you the end result at the end of the live, at the end of the video. So make sure that you watch and you stay tuned. So we're talking today about the business aspect of things. But we're going to mix some things in between that. We're talking about mindset, we're talking about attitude, we are talking about the tools for success, and some extra things we're going to throw in today. So I'm here with Nadia Aristide. She is the CFO of Maroon Strategist LLC, and an awesome woman, a woman of faith, a businesswoman, entrepreneur, you name it. Just an awesome woman, a kind-hearted woman, a knowledgeable woman. So I just want to introduce you and welcome Nadia to our chat. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much, Renee, for having me. I'm glad to be here and I'm ready to get things started whenever you are and
Yes.
do this crafting thing while we talk.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Can you tell us a little bit about your company and what you do?
Okay, so Maroon Strategist LLC is a business and financial consulting firm. One thing that I do say to everyone when they hear business, they hear finance, the first thing that I do say is that, you know what, I am not an accountant. I am not an insurance broker. I am not a retirement broker. I am not
Right,
an investment broker.
right,
However, I am the person who looks at your financials and look at the planning and your numbers to see if you're going in the right direction. And if you're not, why not? I'm that person
right,
who makes sure that you're growing year over year and making money efficiently. So if you're not
right.
making money efficiently, then you're not making money and you're going to eventually be bankrupt. So I'm that person.
Right,
In addition to that, we also help entrepreneurs in business planning, making sure that they're crossing all their T's and dotting their I's in order for them to be successful in the future. Without a plan, you fail. Once you fail to plan, they say, that's it. You don't succeed. You have to plan. You have to know what your numbers are going to look like. In addition to that, I do capital raising for companies, international companies as well, in addition to a whole slew of stuff. But I'm all about helping our people and helping the community to elevate financially, and in terms of business as well.
Right. So awesome. Earlier this year, Nadia was a part of an event that I helped to host. And it was just awesome, the amount of information, that you gave. And just pertaining to those who wanted to start, a business, those who, had ideas, just needed some
Right,
information and a little push,
right,
and those who already know has had an established business, because we're deeming this year as the year of vision, the year of 2020 vision, and of course, as we look at this year and how things have been going so far, of course, a lot of people tend to lose that vision. They
mhm,
tend to go in a different route. Maybe they had some dreams, some goals, but maybe they fell off somewhere along the way or lost that motivation. And one of the things that I want to ask you, between getting into the logistics of things, is how do you keep, or how would you tell people, encourage them to keep that momentum going, especially when you're just starting out, when you
right.
have those goals and those dreams? What would you say to those who, especially at this time, in the midst of the pandemic and things, what would you say to those people?
So one of the things that keeps my momentum, I mean, the bottom line of what keeps my momentum is my faith in God.
Hmm.
My faith that's rooted in God keeps me going no matter what it is. And because I have a relationship with God, and
Right.
I'm not just that type of person who's like God, God, God. I have experience with God. I have a relationship
Hmm.
with God. So in essence, I've been through so many different things in my life, and God has continued to push me up and push me out into success. I've always elevated. And anytime I feel that I'm down as well, I also reach out to God, right? So one of the things that keeps me going is knowing that, the Lord will not leave me out there to fail. Okay?
Absolutely.
Because in the scripture it says it. It says, the Lord says, it says in the scripture, in the Bible, it says, I did not give you plans. I do not have plans for you to fail, but I have plans for you to succeed. I have plans for you to prosper. So I know in my
Absolutely.
life, and not just in my life, in all of our lives, we were born
Hmm.
to prosper. We weren't created
Absolutely.
static. We weren't created to be lazy. Nothing in
Right.
life, nothing that's living in life is lazy nor static. If a tree in its growth is lazy, will it be a tree? No. When we were from inception as a seed in our mother's womb, right? We're growing. As we're
Right.
speaking right now, we're growing. As we
Right.
are talking right now, Renee, we're aging, right? It just
Absolutely.
only one way that it stops is if you're not living. So
Hmm.
we're all are human beings to succeed and to
Right.
prosper and to have success. We were all
Right.
born to succeed, no matter what situation that we were born into, no matter what situation that we are in now, we were born to succeed. So that's number one.
Right.
Number two, it is important, extremely important to surround yourself around positive people,
Oh,
people
yes.
who are ambitious, people who could uplift you, not people who's always bringing you down. Because when you are in these situations where you feel like you don't have enough left, it is that one friend, it is that one
Oh,
sister,
yes.
that one brother who can say, you know what, you got this. There were times where I felt like, oh my God, like I can't do this. It's like this fear
Right.
sabotaging
Right.
us, and that's what
Hmm.
fear does. Fear is a
Oh, yes.
right? And that's what it does. And when I feel down, I'll have a friend who calls me and I can say, this is how I'm feeling. I don't know why I'm feeling like this. And my friend,
Right.
you know what, girl? Get up. You got this. Okay? You got this. And I
Right.
get up and go and I keep it moving.
Right.
So in times like this, in chaos, and this is one of my favorite professors in business school. He always said this in the class. In chaos, there is always opportunity. He said this when
Mm-hmm.
he grades our papers, even though he's giving us a D or F, he'll put it
Mm-hmm.
in chaos, there was always opportunity. And
Right.
in chaos, there is always opportunity. When you see things are about to fall apart, there's something in that you gotta look for the silver lining. You have to,
Absolutely.
and when you find it, you take it, you work with it, and you keep it moving. You know,
Right.
so we all have a gift. We all have a gift. Renee, you have something that you can do that I can't do, like
Mm-hmm.
accessories. I have no business putting accessories together. Okay, I will sit here. I have no business doing that because you know why? That's not my
Right.
talent.
That is not your thing, right?
That's not my
Right.
talent. We have to
Right.
be honest with ourselves
Like
on
like they say, you have to stay in your lane, right? You have to stay in your
that,
lane.
and don't ever compare yourself to anyone else.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Everybody else, entrepreneurship wise, everybody else is in their own lane, in their own blessings. Don't compare yourself with other people
Mm-hmm.
because if
Yep.
you start doing that, you will remain static, and static is not
Right.
what you want to do in terms of business, personally as a person, and in terms of
Right.
entrepreneurship.
Right.
I hope I
That
answered
is
the question.
so true. Yes, that's so many topics into one statement that you just
Yes,
mentioned, because it is so true that that fear tends to take over people.
yeah,
And it is so important that especially when you mention that what keeps you sane, what keeps you motivated,
mhm,
what pushes you, is because you have that relationship with God that helps you all the more. Of course, we see in the world people that do not have a relationship with God, kind of just kind of living, good people, but just kind of living, as the wind blows, as it flows throughout their life, being successful. But of course, that's still the grace of God. You know what I mean?
yes,
That's
absolutely,
still that's still the grace of God. But in actuality, without Him, we can do nothing. And I think that is such an important part, because He said he did not give us a spirit of fear, right? So especially when it comes to business and it comes to taking risks. And I always say to myself, like, I'm a person that I've always had that kind of like independence, thing, that
mhm,
like I want to have my own one day. I want to have my own. I want to have my own. You know what I mean? And not settle. Not settle. And
yeah,
different times in your life will present those opportunities, if you truly
that's
want
right,
it. Because again, we have
that's
freedom of choice, right? So you have freedom of choice.
right,
Exactly. So even when it's for example, if you're in a job and your boss offers you a promotion, right? You
mhm,
have a choice to accept the promotion or not. So it's the same thing, that when God presents us an opportunity, we
mhm,
have the choice to seize that opportunity or not,
that's
right?
right,
So I believe that that is just so powerful. And even in a time like this, where He says He's prepared us for a time
yes,
like this, is that's in all aspects. That's in all aspects. And that's where, like, the first part of this this conversation comes in, talking about mindset,
yes,
having that business mindset. Because for me, I didn't always have that business mindset. It was kind of like, hustle mindset, do a little side gig thing here and there, you know what I mean? But I
yeah,
mean, of course, this is a world where you try to do things the right way, try to do things the more professional way,
yeah,
have your things in checks, or else Uncle Sam will come after you if you're
yeah,
not careful.
yeah,
So having a business mindset is important, because at the end of the day, business is not just for you. And what you're doing in your business is not just for you, but it's for who comes after you, for your children, for
mhm,
whomever will come after you, or what you are leaving behind, the lessons or the legacies that you are leaving behind.
yes,
Just like being a child of God, like you're leaving behind, just like my grandmother, who are always praying, you know what I mean, praying for her family, and instilling those things that none of us could ever say that we did not know who God was, or didn't know how to pray or anything like that, because that was instilled in you right, since you were young. So it's like the same thing, the same way she, no one is perfect, you know what I mean? And now our, our parents, our grandparents, they might not have had everything in line perfectly, but the one thing that she left behind, one of the lessons was that, having that relationship with God, having that work ethic, because
Yeah.
that's definitely something to say, especially if you are someone who has a Caribbean background, or what I mean, you were raised in a Caribbean household. There's always that that work ethic that
Yeah.
you kind of have embedded embedded in you. It's
Yeah.
like you cannot run away from it, whichever way you turn. So that, having the business mindset, and having a business mindset is not always easy either. It
No.
takes discipline. Can you relate to that part?
Yes. So there's when it comes to mindset, there's two types of mindsets I talk about. With in my seminars and when I talk to clients. There's a fixed mindset and there's a growth mindset. A
Mm,
fixed mindset, when something is fixed, that means it stays the same, it doesn't move, it doesn't change, right? We're not created to be fixed. That's just not what it is at all. We as human beings and the spirits within us were not created to be fixed beings, right? And then there's a growth mindset. So if you're not created to be a fixed being, we already identified that earlier. You're aging. Every second that goes by, you're aging. That means you're growing. So that means if you're aging and you're growing and your mindset is fixed, meaning that you don't think to grow, you don't think to change, you don't think to learn, and you're
mm,
sitting there and your mindset is fixed, that means years are going by and you still in the same situation. That's a fixed mindset, right? A
yeah.
growth mindset, right, is someone who's always looking to learn. If there's a problem, they're looking for the solution. If they
Right.
don't know how to do something, they will go to someone who knows how to do it, or they will learn from that person on how to do it next time, right?
Absolutely.
Think about when you're at a job, you get bored. When I was in my career as a finance professional,
Mm-hmm.
after a year I would get bored because I've learned everything, so that means now I'm ready to move on and learn something new. you know
Right.
if you're not always ready to learn something new, you just want to keep doing the same thing over and over and over, you're not giving yourself that space for you to grow mentally and for you to
Mm,
grow as a person, and also in business sense, right?
absolutely.
There's always a lot to learn. And that's why getting to know people, networking with different people makes a lot of sense. It's very important. You shouldn't
Right.
be working in silo. Working in silo will not get you anywhere because there might be something that, listen, there might be something you know that I didn't know. There might be something I know
Absolutely.
that you didn't know. So you
Absolutely.
need to be surrounded by different people who are talented in different things to keep you motivated and also to help you to move forward in this
Right.
business. Being an entrepreneur and a business person or a businesswoman, a businessman, doesn't mean that you know everything. No,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know everything, right? And
Not
it's
at
okay to
all.
know another professional who knows something. It's important to know different people. There's different
Right.
people you can elevate your clientele,
Right.
right? Not easy in the beginning, but this is something you need to have patience in and continue to move forward. As you continue to move forward, you continue to grow and you will be at another space, um,
Absolutely.
business wise, the following year.
Absolutely.
And
That, yeah.
there's Google,
Oh yes. Google,
you
YouTube.
know, and yeah, and there's one thing I want to say, because I know a lot of people have side hustles, right? If
Yeah.
you have a side hustle and you're not registered under New York State, you don't have a side hustle. You don't have a business.
Hmm.
There's a side hustle and there's having a business, right? If I
Yeah.
have a side hustle making jewelry, I'll just use you as an example, Renee. Renee
Hmm.
has a side hustle making jewelry. If Renee continues to make jewelry and sell jewelry, and she hasn't registered her company under New York State, that means having an LLC or C Corp or corporation, then she's not a legitimate business. Does that make sense? So there are a lot of people who have businesses and also who have a business card with a business name, but you're not a company, you're not a corporation, you're not an LLC.
Right.
That's
Right.
a problem, right? That's a problem because you're not legitimate, right?
Right.
Have a side hustle. Turn your side hustle into a business. Register your business under your state of where you live so that you are a legitimate business so that you can get an EIN number. Okay?
Right.
EIN number is a social security number of your business. Okay? The government loves EINs. They give benefits to EINs. The government taxes EINs on their net profit. Ladies
Hey,
and gentlemen, when you work and when you have a W-2, do you get taxed on your net, Renee? What do you get taxed on?
the gross.
The gross, right? So that's
Yeah.
one of the huge differences. So everyone who's watching, you have a side hustle, make sure, or you have a business or a business card. You have a business card, but you don't have a corporation. It's not registered under your state. You don't have a business. Okay? Because at a time like this during
Right.
COVID, the government is giving businesses a lot of benefits. But if you had a side hustle and you were not a legitimate business, you didn't have an EIN number, you weren't registered under New York State, guess what? You didn't get this benefit for your company because you didn't have a company. You just had a side hustle that wasn't registered under New York State. Be smart, ladies.
Right. Right. And we know that a lot of, a lot of people will start off that way to, until they're able to be legit, you know what I mean? But because the goal is to not remain that way. You might start off tiny, but the goal is to like keep it going, keep it going.
Yeah, and even if you are at zero,
You can still get an EIN because it's free though.
register
Exactly.
register your business. That'll be
Yeah.
$210. That's how much it costs for the application cost in New York State. 210. That'll be the best investment of $210. Then taking $210 to get our nails done, new sneakers, new jackets, the latest cell phone. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So when you know there's something that you're good at and you know what you're doing, it is very important that you register your company under New York State or whichever state that you're in.
Right.
Because you never know when the opportunity is going to come where somebody sees your talent and they want to hire you. You want to
That's
make
so true.
they're hiring your entity, your business entity. They're not hiring you, okay? But your business entity, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope everyone watching is taking some notes. These are some good gem dropping. I'm taking some notes too at the side because, as you know, Nadia, I'm not afraid to ask you questions, and I'm still learning.
No, and that's a good thing.
And as I learn, I tell other people.
Yeah.
So it's just business is what makes the world go round. At the end of the day, money at the end of the day is what anywhere you go.
Exactly.
Money is, the thing, the saying that money talks. Well, that is true. Because if you walk into a store and ask for something for free, unless it's by miracle, it's going to be very rare that they hand you a pair of sneakers for free or a coat or something for free.
Because guess what? Someone had to make that sneaker, right? That sneaker
Exactly.
wasn't created for free.
Exactly.
That designer had to buy materials to make that sneaker. Every little piece of that sneaker, every material, every design, every cloth, it costs something.
Yes. 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 And I like what you said about not comparing. It's so true that so many people and I'm gonna put like even myself in it in the beginning. So many of us compare because sometimes you're looking at the competition, you're looking at other people who are doing the same thing as you. You're or you're trying to keep up the pace, maybe with somebody else, or you're feeling pressure. You're looking at other people who are probably ahead, You know what I mean? And it's just in any aspect, comparing
That's
yourself
right.
is not, you can't have a relationship with God and compare yourself with somebody else. You are on different pages. You know, everybody has their own unique relationship with God,
That's
whether
right.
you're just starting out, you're trying to find out who God is, or whether you know him for yourself, you have a deep friendship. You cannot compare yourself to the next person. You know, you can't compare your prayer to the next person's prayer, you know, or
That's
your
right.
faith especially. You cannot compare your faith or try to do what somebody else has done based on their faith. You have to do it based on your faith, right? So just as you did with your business, and
Mhm.
you stepped out in faith and did what you did,
That's
you know,
right.
somebody can't just go off a wing and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go into that place and do exactly what Nadia did, you know, expecting the same results, because they might not get the same results because it was your faith, you know, and that was between you and God. So that is so true, that you cannot compare yourself, never compare yourself. Focus on, you know, what's going on ahead of you, what's going on in your lane, because the time that you spend to look to your left or look to your right to see what someone else is doing, they're already ahead and you're still behind.
Yep, because you're watching what somebody else is doing. Maybe God doesn't want you to go through that same path. Maybe God is trying to
Exactly.
bring you through a different path so he can teach you something, because we are all
Absolutely.
so unique and we all need to celebrate one another, right? And we need
Yes.
to lift each other's gifts, right? We need to do that. And a lot of us, we lose sight of what really we're supposed to be doing in this world because we're busy concentrating on the next being while the next being is really trying to concentrate on what God wants for them. So
Mm-hmm.
comparing yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Comparing yourself or jealousy, or not being happy for another person, all of that
Absolutely.
stunts your growth. It stunts
Absolutely.
elevate. Somebody's doing something that you love, learn from them, elevate
Absolutely.
from them, ask questions. Don't be
Mm-hmm.
afraid. It's not a big deal. And Maroon Strategist stands for resilience, right?
Mm.
Resilience, thinking outside of the box, elevating each and every person to success. I thrive
Right.
when I see a client succeeding due to work that I've done. I'm
Right.
passionate about that.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm very passionate about that. That doesn't come from me myself, but it comes from a gift and a passion that's from up above, right? I
Right.
want to grow. I want us to know better. The scripture says that the Lord said, "My people die due to lack of knowledge."
Love knowledge.
That's
Mm-hmm.
the, we need knowledge. Business knowledge is very important. Number one,
Absolutely.
know have an idea. Number two, research your idea. Number
Mm-hmm.
three, you have to have a company, a business entity. You have to have an entity. An entity is treated different than a person, right? So
Yes,
Maroon
true.
Strategist is an entity. Nadia Aristide is a person, right? Nadia
Right.
Aristide has a social security number. Maroon Strategist has an EIN number.
Right.
Nadia Aristide will file tax returns. Maroon Strategist will file a tax return as well, but it will be treated differently, right?
Right.
So these are the things as a people we need to understand. If you
Absolutely.
understand business structures, there's a website I'm going to give at the end of our live today, where you can go to the website and you can
Right.
understand different things. There's even online classes for you,
Right.
online classes for you to learn about marketing ideas, for you to learn
Mm-hmm.
business finance, for you to learn about business structures, for you
Oh,
to
yes.
how to take an idea and then turn it into, there are free online classes that are given just for that. So the resources are out there for all of
Right.
us to learn and to grow.
Absolutely. It's so true. Before I forget, someone asked, if we sell in New York and New Jersey, which state should we register our EIN? Is
Where
it, yeah,
what
register in both states?
no, it's based on where the business is placed. Is if the business is in New York, I know if your business address is in New York, then you register in New York. If your business address is in Jersey, then you register in Jersey. So
Right.
you
Because when you register your business, you register with one address. So wherever
yeah,
that means.
whatever your business address is, wherever, whichever state that is, that's where you register. And you can do business in Jersey, you can do business in New York, and you can do that. That makes sense?
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yes. So glad we answered that question for you, Nadia. Not Nadia, Alyssa. So yes, that is so, I mean, that is so important. And Nadia shared so much information for me. Like I said, there's so much to learn about business. But business doesn't have to be business is hard work. It is hard work. You have to put the effort into it. You have to sacrifice. You have to invest in yourself,
Yes.
just like anyone else. And that's something that I learned. Not to say like I was waiting for anyone to invest in me, but that is something that I definitely learned along the way. And throughout different situations in life, you
Mm-hmm.
have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in your well-being. You have
Yep.
to invest in your time with God. You have to invest in your relationship with God. You have to invest in your business, in yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
can't wait for anyone to do that for you,
Mm-hmm.
because someone might never come along to do that for you, to invest in you, like
Right.
sponsor you or whatever it is.
Right. Right.
Sometimes you have to go out by faith and invest in yourself, and do the best that you can to just make sure that you're putting forth, the work and the effort to do your part at least, because you can't be hoping and praying, for success, but then you're not doing your part, right? And then wondering why it's not working out the way it should. But at the same time, in the moments that it's not working out, and I'm pretty sure that you can attest to this, there's going to be challenging times. There's going to be moments where you're like, man, did I make the right decision? Did I, this, or did I that? You might question yourself. You might, but you still keep going because you have that faith in that thing. And you know that, especially when you place, God in the midst of it, and
Yeah.
you give him full control of whatever happens. But of course, he will not move if we do not move, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
throughout everything that is happening, even in this time, of course, we know that the most important thing is having that relationship with God and keeping that focus and making sure that, we spread the love of God and the awareness that, they need to accept him. But at the same time, right,
Mhm.
we do know that we still have to live life, right? We cannot just say we're going to be stagnant. Okay, now we're going to give up because the world seems to be coming to an end, or something like that. No, you still have to make sure that you're in right standing, right,
Mhm.
in the presence of God. But and even
Mhm.
if there are people on here that are watching that maybe you don't have a relationship with God, or maybe you don't go to church or anything like that, this is still for you. And this is still, to encourage you that it's all the better with God in the midst, that we can do nothing by ourselves and on our own strength. When we try to do
Mhm.
that, it becomes a burden. It,
Fail. I
oh,
know I
yes,
fail when I do it by myself.
yes,
I
yes,
certainly
yes.
do.
And,
And I
and
don't have
those,
time to.
yes, I'm telling you, it becomes so draining. And even during the pandemic, when you have God in the midst, God is in your life, there's a certain peace. There's a certain peace
Yes.
that you get that really does surpass all understanding. It really, it's like you don't, yes, you are concerned, but you are not worrying. You are not, you're that stress and that heavy burden. You are still concerned, of course, because we're all human beings, you know what I mean? And we have those moments where we are thinking about our family, we're thinking about what's next. But at the same time, God is not expecting you to put your life on pause.
Mhm.
the it's like, well, do what you know is right. You know what I mean? And you won't have any problems. Right.
That's that's right. So let me tell you about this
Oh,
beautiful
yes.
verse. that I lived by. I lived by and lived by when I first started as an entrepreneur. If God could take care, if God could take care of the birds and the fowls of the air,
Absolutely. Love that.
everything else, how about for you?
Yes, yes.
You that he has made just a little bit lower than angels, and he made you in his own image. So the verse says, so don't worry about tomorrow. Today has
Absolutely.
enough problems for today, right? Let me worry about tomorrow. You worry about today. Because if you add another worry to tomorrow, what will that add? And I take care of the
Absolutely.
birds and the fowls of the air who doesn't even know what they're going to eat tomorrow. That right there, that is something I live by. All the
Absolutely.
clients that I get is given to me by God.
Absolutely.
By God. He brings them to me by God. Okay. And when he brings them to me, I'm their servant because I take care of them. I
Right.
don't take advantage of clients. I'm not transactional. You know, I care about what's going on. Yes, it's business, but I'm not putting money first. Like, let me try to get as much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I agree with that.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Have to talk about that's out there where people are desperate and they're transactional. You know,
Yes, yes.
I know, what comes around goes around. So I care about people, I care about what's going on. In addition to helping you get to where you're getting a service from me where I'm your servant and you're happy, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. At the
Absolutely.
same time, I'm not saying because I'm your servant, that means you treat me how you want to treat me. That's why I have
Exactly.
my company. I have the right to say, I don't want you as a client either.
Exactly. No, because you have to be he didn't say that we're supposed to be,
Yeah.
right, exactly, that we're to be walked all
So
over.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so that's the beautiful thing about being an entrepreneur, you know.
Absolutely.
And so it is the gift, to be able you're utilizing the gift, right? That's been put upon you by God, to help others, whether it accessories, whether it be finances, whether it be products, whether it be services, you know, whether it be earrings, this is something that I like that goes with what I'm wearing. It makes me
Yes.
feel good. You understand
Right.
what
Exactly.
that you provide that makes others feel good and makes them feel good positively and also help them to elevate is a gift that you have. And you have to know how to treat that with respect, right?
Mhm.
Because you will always, those same customers, you treat them with respect, you treat them as if they're human beings, they will
Mhm.
always come back, they will be loyal, and they will tell other people about you.
Absolutely. That
Okay.
is so true.
So it's very important. So when we feel like, for example, with COVID-19, it made a lot of people depressed. We've all
Yeah.
been impacted. We all,
Lost loved ones, lost friends.
yes, yes, colleagues. I mean, we're humans.
Right.
We're human. So it impacts us, you know. But anytime darkness is coming upon you, you have to pierce and know that there's light, you know,
Yes.
that there's light. As an entrepreneur pre COVID, yes, I had a slew of contracts, right? Pre COVID sessions that I had to do. They were all just scheduling all over the place. Then COVID
Mhm.
happened. And when COVID happened, it disappeared. You
Mhm.
know what I said? I said, Lord, I'm not worried. Because if you are the same God who gave me all those contracts and it was still
Exactly.
January and February of 2020, you are the same God who's going to make it happen for me for the rest of the year. And
Yes.
that was my faith. And
Yes.
I found an opportunity. I looked for opportunities and they came.
Yes. Yes.
Come in all different types of ways. Some people may think money, some people opportunities comes in different types of ways. If you trust in God, you trust in the Lord, you trust in God, He will just open doors for you that you would never expect. And that's what I am experiencing as an entrepreneur. Doors are being open. I'm meeting new people. I'm touching
Mm-hmm.
people's lives. I'm helping people navigate their business. I'm helping
Right.
people understand their financials. I'm helping
Mm-hmm.
people to understand that you cannot run a business that has no profit. You
Oh
can't run a
yes.
business of zero or negative. Yes, in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning it's going to happen, but you need to have a plan. You need to have a business plan. You need to have a financial plan so you can understand
Absolutely.
what you're getting into.
Absolutely.
So that when a pandemic hits like this, you know where you are with your numbers.
So true. So true.
Let,
And
let the church
to
say,
amen. Amen. It's so true. I'm in the chat and I'm like, Nadia's dropping gems right now. So yes, so much, yes, great information. Yes, Matt. So much great information. So
yeah.
the for the people that are probably just starting out, this might be a whole slew of information, but once you start, because something that I was gonna say is that business doesn't have to be a burden. It doesn't have to be a burden, especially if it's something that you like doing or you find some sort of comfort out of. I found that in my life, in different jobs and in different things like that, if you are not happy doing something, it's going to feel like a burden,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
Now, of course, even in the things that you do like to do or you're passionate about, you're still going to have some days where you're like, oh man, I just want to sleep for like 2 more hours. Can I just go on a vacation and just leave it alone for now? You're still going to have those moments, you know what I mean? But the thing is that whenever you go back, you're like, um, and there's a difference when you have God in the midst, because you're not just doing your business for money, you're doing it
mm-hmm.
for purpose. You're doing it
Yes.
for purpose,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
There is purpose
Yeah.
in it. So for example, even when I started these live craft and chat sessions, it was not with the intention to continue it like I've been doing now. It was really just, some tutorials, on live and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Let me continue it. And it just keeps flowing naturally. But the thing is that it's not it's not really about that. It's about purpose. You know what I mean? It's about purpose, and it's something that just flows out of me, that I just find joy in. And like I said, also coming from my belief that we need to support each
Mm-hmm.
other, right? Support each other, men and women, business entrepreneurs, that we need to support each other, especially in these times. Um, in the field that I work in, I talk to a lot of business owners on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some people who unfortunately have closed businesses, but there are people right now who are opening new businesses,
Yes.
right? And when I talk to those people, I congratulate them,
Yep.
because not many people will be like, you know what, let me still go ahead. They might cancel their plans, they might not take the risk. But for those people who are opening up and taking the risk and saying, you know what, let me still go ahead anyway, I congratulate them, because I'm like, it's not easy to be like, you know what, let me still keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that I've definitely seen. But going to back to what I was saying, where
Mm-hmm.
business doesn't have to be a burden. It doesn't become a burden where you have purpose in it. Of course, you put the money with it, of course, is because the business, of course, is always associated with money at the end of the day, right? But at the same time, you have to create that balance,
Right.
especially when you place God in the midst, because so many things can come out of it. You never know who you could touch or who you could bless within your business. Sometimes that client might become somebody that you end up, giving more information or counsel to, and just end up changing their lives that you never expected. Like, you never know.
And that's what I that's the passion that I have. When I'm
Absolutely.
able to change your life and I'm able to be part of changing your life and elevating you to be the best you and to be the best business that you can be, to look forward to success.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Maroon Strategist thrives on.
Absolutely. There's a question here where it says, uh, so I do not want to pronounce the name wrong. I think it's Skensi. At Augustin asked, what if you have an idea, but no name or business plan yet for your business? Should you still apply for an EIN? I think I have an answer for that too, but you can answer that first.
Okay, that's backwards. The first thing you need to do is launch the business, is you need to register your business first. Because this is what could happen. Let's say let's say I have a business idea and I say, if you have a business idea and you don't have a business name, did she say she had a business name? She just said no.
No, so I think if she just has an idea, but no name or business plan yet. So my thing would be like, would be that you can't apply for an
No,
EIN
you
because you
can't
need a
get
name, right?
it.
You need a name.
Yeah, you need the name. And there are some people who apply for an EIN with no registration within their state. This is what happens. Let's say Maroon strategists decide that I have a name and I decide that I want to start a business and I go ahead and I apply for an EIN, calling it Maroon Strategist, right?
Right.
But when I go to register the business under my state, somebody has already taken the name Maroon Strategist.
Mm,
What happens next? Does that
right.
make sense? So you always register your business first, then you get your EIN number,
Mm-hmm.
not the other way around. And a lot of people do that not
Yes,
because they knew better, it's just because they didn't know.
they
And
didn't
this
know
is
any
why
better, right?
the program, Renee, Eccentric Accessories, this is why this program is important, because these are very good questions. You
Yeah.
register your business name first. You register your business first, you get your EIN, then you get your bank account, right? After you register your business, you get your EIN, you go to the bank with those two things. You go with your New York State registration or your state registration, and you go with your EIN and you open up your business account. Because once you have a business, your business is separate from your personal. Okay, that means Nadia and Maroon Strategist are
Different things.
two different things. Okay, Nadia Aristide has her personal account, and Maroon Strategist has its own business account,
Right.
and it's not intermingled because you can't do that. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you for answering that question. I hope we answered that question, August. Gensi, I believe, Gensi Augustin. Just to reiterate that information. So if you have a name, not an idea, but if you have a name that you want to use for your business, you should go and register that name first. Pretty much trademark the name, right? So you should,
You would first,
or
so to piggyback on what you're saying, right, Renee?
mm-hmm,
So you would first, you have an idea, right? That's great.
mm-hmm,
Now that you have the idea, what are you going to call your business? What am I going to call my business? Right?
exactly.
The idea. Now you have to be creative and say, okay, what am I going to call my business? Then when you think about I would say like top two names or three names, and then you go and you search to see if the business has already been taken. Now, you can go ahead and register your business, and then once you attempt to register your business, they'll let you know if that name is taken or not.
Right, right. Absolutely.
Go
Right.
ahead.
So,
Yeah, go
right.
ahead. Finish. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is what she is saying, to register that for, because if you get the EIN with the name first, but then it's taken, what she is saying, that defeats the purpose, because the goal is to register, get an EIN for a name that is not taken, that nobody has, right? So those would be the steps. First, you have the idea, you get your name, then you register the name, make sure it's not taken, then you do your EIN, and then you set up your bank accounts so that you can separate your business, everything for your business from your personal. And then I wanted to mention about the certificate of authority in terms of sale tax, in terms of charging taxes everywhere that we go. On most items, we have to pay taxes,
Mhm.
right? So a certificate authority, after you've done all of that, will allow you to pay those taxes. And of course, if any of you are inquiring about those services need to do those services, where I'm gonna post at the end where you can find Nadia or book her for a consultation, or anything like that to further service you and the needs for your business. So we've talked about business mindset. We've even touched on a little bit about business attitude, because the mindset, of course, goes along with the attitude. And of course, in within business, it's still good to now, attitude can consist of a lot of things, right? We're not talking about a cocky attitude. We're
Mhm.
not talking about self-sufficient attitude.
Mhm.
We're talking about an attitude of humility, but yet an attitude of boldness.
Mhm.
Right? Because you don't want to be a pushover, but at the same time, you don't want to seem like you know you got it. You the best on the world. You know what I mean? It kind of, you know what I mean? So, because the thing is, you're still learning, but at the same time, you still have to have a professional attitude. But then at the same time, don't mess with me because I know what I'm doing, right? Or don't mess with me because I'm a child of God, right? So we still have to have like that attitude and that move, I believe, of confidence, would be the right word, of confidence, yet humility. Because when you have that kind of attitude, I believe it allows God to work in you even more, to work in your business even more freely, because you're saying that like you're teachable, right? You don't have that attitude of like, well, you can't tell me anything. You know what I mean? In a sense, you're teachable. You're still learning. Even when I talk to different people, I'm like, well, wow, like I could learn from you. You know what I mean? I'm talking to you about what I do, but I could learn some things from you, and we can all learn from each other. So I believe that even as a business owner, you still have to have that attitude and keep that mindset open, that even though this person might be a client of yours, you can still learn from them. And I believe that that's
Mhm.
important, to have that kind of humility, but at the same time, of course, have that boldness and that sternness that you need to have to not, what I would say is kind of like rob yourself of what you deserve. And that could be money, that could be respect, because of course, as a business owner, you're not just going to have clients or people that are just going to come and disrespect you or come into your office and demand, you know what I mean? So you still have to have that attitude. I kind of want to get your take on that, on that, Nadia, for people who are watching.
Yes, attitude. So everything is respect, right? Everything boils down to respect. Treat other people the way you would like to be treated. Talk to other people the way you would like to be spoken to.
True.
Address people the way you would like to be addressed. And make people, and it has to be a comfortable setting. So if someone comes into my office to speak with me and they have a terrible, terrible attitude, my first thing will not to be like, well, you better just get out of my office. It's like,
Right. Yeah. Because you don't know what they're going through either.
yeah, is everything okay? Are you sure everything is okay? Do you think this is the
Right.
best time? Would you like to reschedule? Maybe we
Right.
can at another time. Maybe we could do this. What you always want to be is blameless. You never want to give anybody any reason to say anything bad about you as a business professional, as well as personal. You
That's
know,
true.
never want to give that person a reason to say anything. They came in, they were angry about something, you speak to them. If a client sends me an email and says, "Oh my God, Nadia, what happened?" Da, 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 da. The first thing I would do is say, "Okay, let me review." Once I
Right.
review, I get back to them and I'll say, "Okay, well, this is what happened. A happened, then B happened, then C happened." And you know what the
Right.
client does? Nadia, I am so sorry. I misunderstood
Right.
Y and Z. This is what happened. This is what happened. This is what happened. First of all, you are the representation of your business, right? So whatever
Yes.
you put out, that's what people are going to piggyback from that energy. So you always want to remain in a positive energy. When I'm not feeling good and I'm not in the mindset, because I'm not feeling good or something happened during the day, I take a pause. I
Mm.
turn everything off and I go take a pause for like 30 minutes. And if it needs to be a day, then I take a pause for a day.
Right.
I don't just take a pause now. If I had meetings, I will reschedule all my meetings. I will tell all my business partners and my colleagues, I will be logging off for the day, and I will reschedule
Right.
meetings, right?
Right.
And I go ahead and I do what I need to do for myself, right?
Right.
Having a positive attitude and taking care of yourself is everything. I'm not saying that this is a walk in the park, right?
Mhm.
Business owner and entrepreneur, is not a walk in the park. Okay. There's a lot of grunt work that goes into it. Okay. You're going to work harder than everybody else. When it's your business, no one can outwork you when it's your business, right?
True.
You
Absolutely.
you're gonna work hard, but you'll guess what? You're working hard for you to build your legacy, to build your wealth. Okay. No one who have no successful person just got there just by a walk in the park. Everybody have a story. Everybody has a testimony, and nobody's life is perfect. In the midst of
Right.
building a business, life is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
To remain focused, you have to remain disciplined, right? We talked about mindset, but there's also discipline, right? I have to discipline myself to make sure that I get up every day and get my priorities together for my business,
True.
right? Yes, personally, maybe this may be going on, but I know that I have to take care of everything that I have to take care of and prioritize my business, right?
Right. And you also have people who are depending on you.
Exactly, Renee.
Right.
So, there's discipline too. You have to be disciplined enough to make sure that you meet your clients' deadlines. You have to be disciplined enough to make sure you make it to your meetings on time. You have to be disciplined enough to make sure that you reply to your client, even though your client is one of the clients that bugs you the most. You have to have
Right.
discipline to still be nice and still reply, right? But these are all things you will learn as you go on. And
So
don't think,
true.
yes, and don't think that you need to know everything. No entrepreneur knows everything. No
Mm-hmm.
business owner knows everything. The richest man in the world doesn't know everything.
Mm-hmm. So that's true. Absolutely.
But guess what? You have to have guts. That's another thing I learned from my business professor. You have to have guts.
That's
Those people who are out there who are successful, they had guts, they had motivation, they kept on going, even though there was a lot of fear, they kept on moving, they kept on going. And if you keep moving forward with God, you keep moving forward with your passion, you will achieve the best success that you could have ever imagined.
absolutely. Absolutely. That is so true. Thank you for, inputting on that. It is so true. We just have to, like I say, keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
And I feel like even myself, sometimes I'm very hard on myself. Sometimes I'm very hard on myself. And that's just not business, but in general, in different aspects, I'm sometimes,
Well, that's
you
why,
know,
because you want to do well.
right. And I think that sometimes though we can be too hard on ourselves, not to say you don't still have to try to like keep yourself in check, but there will be failures in life. There will be failures in life. And the thing is that some people feel that it is not okay to fail, right? It is not okay.
Mhm.
And that can stem from a lot of things. It can stem from how they were raised. It
Yeah,
can it can stem from just different experiences in their life where you have
right.
a fear of failure, right? And there were things that in my life that I had started and did not, just to be transparent, that I started
Mhm.
and not finished because of fear of failure, right? And you can have fear of failure or failure of success. There were
Yeah.
times I've had fail exactly. There were times that I've had a fear of failure, right? Because I might have tried something and it didn't work or whatever. And now, of course, these were the times where like my faith wasn't on like, how young people say on fleek, right? These were times where my faith wasn't where it is now, right? When there were things that I wanted to do and my faith wasn't where it is now. But there were times when I had a fear of failure and times where I had a fear of success, right? Of like, oh man, if I do this, that is just gonna be like an overload of, and how am I gonna manage it? And how And then you end up talking yourself out of a lot of things. And I believe that a lot of people have that issue too. They talk themselves so much in their mind. It's like nobody else is talking to you but you, right? And it's like you can discourage your own self. You can talk your own self out of opportunities, the same as you can allow other people to talk you out of it. So I believe that is also a learning experience when it comes to wanting to have a business, wanting to start anything in your life and finish it, and the commitment that goes along with it. I believe people
Mm-hmm.
struggle with that too, those two fears of either fear of failure or failure of success.
Yeah, and you have to push through it. Ladies and gentlemen, push through it. Because once you push through it, you're like, okay, I did it.
Right, it's not so bad. Okay.
People love it. People actually appreciate what I do. People actually like what I make. People actually enjoy my cooking. People actually really love the dessert. Once you pass through that, you'll be fine. You just
So
gotta.
true. Right. And then it builds your confidence. And but it's just like if you do nothing, you get nothing.
That's right.
And that's even something that I realized, that I was always a person that liked to work with my hands. I've always loved that. I've always loved to be crafty and things like that. But once the first time I did something and I kind of pushed it forward in a way as like a product or something like that, I was like, oh, and then that kind of like cloud over your head in the sense of like you're thinking about, well, the people who like already do it or whatever. Now of course I said that that's when my faith wasn't where it is now. Now I'm kind of like,
It's a
there's so
real
many.
fear.
Oh
It's
yes.
real fear.
Oh
It's
yes.
real fear. It's straight up a real strong fear. It makes no
Hmm.
sense.
No, it
One of
doesn't.
those fears that will cripple you if you let it.
Yes,
And this is
yes.
where you need your prayer warriors. This is where you need your support system. This is where you need, because you by yourself, this is where you need your support system. You need your prayer warriors to just help push you out of there.
Exactly. And after a while you build up that confidence, like I said, like now I'm at a place where it's like, but I'm me. Nobody else could be me. So
Exactly.
therefore anything that's coming from me is going to be different,
That's right.
right? So
That's
that goes for, and that goes for like everybody. The world is so big and there's enough room to
by
grow
everybody.
for everyone. And that is why I always, I like to help people and share information and just support people, because I'm like, of course there's people who like to hold back information and hide information because they think that you're going to get ahead of them or whatever. But I mean, regardless, you get ahead of them without or whatever, you'll find out. But the thing is that when you say to yourself, like, God created each and every one of us differently, and we just kind of have to tap into what is different about us, what makes us unique, right? And but that is the one thing that makes you overcome that fear, is that like, is nobody else could be me, nobody else could be Nadia, nobody else can be Renee, and that goes along with for anything. Oh
Okay.
yes. Oh yes. That goes along with anything in life, right?
Yeah.
If you're a pastor, right, and you're nobody else can preach, it's you. You know what I mean? Only you can preach the way that you do, right? You have your own thing, you have your own style. You know what I mean? Because some people try to be like others. They try to be
Yeah.
like others. It's one thing to emulate somebody, right? It's one thing to look up to somebody, but then it's another thing where you're kind of like being a copycat. You know what I mean? And we were not created to be copycats. Each of
Because
us
we're
have a
all
exactly, and each of us, we have a different fingerprint from every,
yeah.
even if you have a twin, right? An identical twin, your fingerprint is different. You can't even get
Right.
the same fingerprint. Right? You can't even get the same fingerprint. So that's to show you that each and every one of us were created to be specifically unique and specifically different. And even in your business, you cannot be a copycat with your business. You have to be an original. You have to be unique in your business. Now,
Yeah.
yes, it's great. You have to look at others for inspiration. You have to see, who some of your competitors are and things like that. So, because that also pushes you. It's you're like, okay, let me see how
Learn
maybe,
from your competitors and see how
yes,
it could be different, right?
exactly.
When you're doing a competitive analysis, you look at what the competitor is providing that you're providing. Then you also got to look at what is it that they're providing that I know that I could provide that they don't provide. You know,
Mm, yeah,
when you do a competitive analysis, that's what you look for. You know,
true.
what are they doing and what do I bring to the table that's different from what
Right.
I'm already doing? That's how you get a competitive edge. You know,
Oh, yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
reason for jealousy, there's no reason for that. Just look to be more creative. If someone's already
Absolutely.
doing something just like you, what else are you gonna do that's gonna be a little bit different or more different from what that person is doing? You know,
Absolutely.
we were all, this is what I love about God. He's very creative. He did not create us the same. He did
Oh,
not create us to
yes.
be the same color. He did not create us to have the same nose, the same eyes, the same figures, the same height.
But you can even see it in the miracles.
Yeah.
That we're not gonna start preaching, okay? We're not gonna start preaching. We promise. But you can even see it in the miracles that
Yeah.
Jesus did.
Mhm.
He didn't do anything. He did everything in an unorthodox manner.
Yeah.
When he healed the blind man,
Hmm.
right? And he took the mud and he mixed it, with the saliva and the spit and everything. When you things like that, naturally you're saying to yourself, what? Why? You're saying, why couldn't you just like put your hands over, you're healed? Why did it have to, you know what I mean? And so sometimes it makes you think, like, if you're in that position, and
Yeah.
I believe he did things that way to test the faith of
Hmm.
people, because it's easy for him to just place his hands over, his eye and say, okay, bam, you're healed, right? But for now, of course, the blind man couldn't see what he was doing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Of course, he couldn't see what he was doing, but the simple fact of, he knew that, okay, we would be reading it, we would be reading this one day.
And another thing I want to piggyback off of what you're
Oh
saying,
yes,
everything, it's a process. Everything is
yes,
a process.
yes, 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 yes,
Right?
yes.
It's a
Everything is
process.
a process.
Everything is
Absolutely.
a process. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It is through processes that we become
Yes.
it is through processes we become more efficient. It is through
Oh
processes
yes.
that we understand what's working and what's not working. And such
I'm
is
telling you, it is a process. Everything is a process. Marriage is a process. Your relationship with God is a process. Just like if you pray for something tonight, some people are expecting it to be done tomorrow. Sometimes it happens that way. Sometimes it doesn't happen that way.
right.
Sometimes you have to go through a process, right? To get that elevation. Sometimes you elevate it like that. Other times you see people being elevated before you, right? And you got to go through a process before you're elevated, right?
Yep.
So it's so true what you said. I love that like everything is a process, and that is so true. Now, let's get into the logistics of it, right? Whatever pinpointers that you had or prepared for us in terms of our tools for success in terms of the business aspect, so I'm not sure what you wrote down yet, or if you have a certain order, but you can just go off of that. And yeah, what are the things that maybe you can go briefly on the people for those that are ready, to get going, like, all right, cool, I have these things together that we mentioned earlier, and I want to start my business. What are the tools for success, whether you have a business or you're already into it? What are some of those things?
Number one is take action. Okay, wherever you are, whatever thought process you're in terms of your business, take action. If you haven't started one yet and you have an idea, take action. If you have a business already but it's you're not doing anything with it, and take action. If you have a business already and it's
Hmm.
COVID-19, you've been impacted, take action.
Right.
Nadia, why you keep saying action, take action? That means do something, right? Take action and do something. Here,
Right.
here is this. We're having this seminar right now, right? That's live. You're hearing me. Take action. That means
Oh
I'm
yes.
going to give Renee some links for you to
Yes, we're
start
gonna post that.
for you to get information on free online small business workshops. Take action.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
also going to give Renee some links on how to launch a business. Take action, right? I'm also going to give you information on how to get a free 15-minute consultation with Maroon Strategist. And I have a link there that Renee is going to share with you. Take action,
Yes.
right? Um, if you do any four of those things, that will be your starting point to success, right?
Yes.
Because you need information. Take action, learn, change your mindset. If you are in a static mindset, a mindset where you feel like everything is not going to work, nothing I do makes sense, this, that, and the third, those are
Oh
lies.
yeah.
And those lies are not from God. Okay? Those are lies.
Mm-hmm.
You are unique. You are
Yes.
successful. Okay? You were born to be successful. You were born to have a growth mindset. Okay?
Oh yes.
Change your attitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
Click on one of those links. Okay? There's the links for the free online small business workshops. You don't know what to do. You have an idea. You don't know what to do with it. Click on that link. It'll tell you what to.
Absolutely.
You don't know how to start a business plan. Click on the link. It'll tell you. You want to learn
Mm-hmm.
about business finance. Click on that link. It'll tell you. You don't know how
Yes.
to launch your business. I'm giving you another link that'll tell you exactly how to launch your business, to tell you exactly what the structures are. Okay?
Yes.
Click on the link. All right? Again, you have a free 15-minute consultation with me. That'll be on the link. Take
Whoop,
action, and you
whoop.
can any question that you want within that 15 minutes. But when you schedule that 15 minutes, be ready. Be ready to use your 15-minute wisely, right?
Right.
Be ready
Yes.
to ask me for information, and I will give you information and what the next steps are. So take action.
Absolutely.
Take action, put God first, take action, and never give up. You will
Yes. I love that.
learn from your mistakes and move on and continue learning.
Yes.
And, and this is the authentic, organic, I didn't put a list together. I'm being real right now. Take
Yes.
action. That repeats
Yes.
the same thing over and over and over and over again. And you will be given these tools and these links. Take advantage of it. And you're
Yes.
going to get a free 15-minute consultation to ask me any question you want. You
Whoop,
don't know
whoop,
where to go to
whoop.
start your business? We do business formation. You don't know where to
Mm-hmm.
go to start your business plan? We do business plan. We do financial projections. Okay, there's a lot that we do, and then you will get these links to also help you start as well.
Right.
Okay,
So good. So good. I'm over here trying to
Renee, you got the links right that I sent over.
yes, so I see them in here. What I'm gonna do
So
is
there's one for free online small business workshops. There's another how to launch your business, and then there's the book of free 15-minute consultation link.
so yeah, I see your free online business workshops, how to launch your business,
Mm-hmm.
15-minute consultations, and all of your links.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So what
Yep.
I'm gonna do, see what I wanna do is I wanted to post them straight in here. So I'm trying to figure out a way to do that. So while I'm doing that, I just want you to tell people how you started your business. How did Maroon Strategist come to be?
Wow. So I'm gonna be as authentic as I can be. So
Right.
ever since I started my career as a financial analyst out of college, I was always like, okay, is this how life is gonna be, God? I'm gonna take the train, get off the train, go to work, start at 9, end at 5, and then get back on the train and go back home and get up and do it all over again. Within the first year, I think that was my question because I was just like, is this it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, is this
Right.
it? Is this it? And throughout my whole career, I just kept asking the question, is this it? Is this
Right.
because I always saw myself outside of that, right?
I'm gonna type it in here while you're talking.
Yeah, I just didn't know how I was going to get there, but I always saw myself outside of that norm, but didn't know how that was going to happen.
Right.
And so I, well, one day, I was just like, oh, is this it? And I just went home that night. I never forget. I was tired. I
Right.
had just gotten home. It was like seven going on 8. And I said, that's it. This is the business name, and I'm registering my business.
Right.
Just like that. I was like, I didn't know what I was gonna do yet, but guess what? I took action. See,
Right.
I say to you guys, I've done it. I just took action that day and I did it.
Right.
Action that day, did that. Okay, I had, my dad had passed, and so that was unexpected. I had registered it on a
Mm,
Wednesday. My father had passed on a Friday. Okay, that
mm,
was tragic trauma. Okay, and then after that, I'm like, you know what? Let me see what can happen with this. Let me
mm-hmm,
try this. I said, because I have talent. I said, I've been
mm-hmm,
a finance professional for many years.
mm-hmm,
I do financial planning and analytics very well.
mm,
I said, I want to be able to do this for, entrepreneurs. I want to be able to do
right.
small and medium-sized businesses. I want to be able to do this for people who are running businesses who don't have a system in place. And
Right.
so I started out like that,
Right.
and the name Maroon is from the Maroons in Haiti and Jamaica who said enough
Mm,
is enough. You're not going
mm-hmm,
to keep me enslaved. I'm going to revolt against you because I know I'm better than this. I'm bigger than this. I am resilient. I'm going to push
right.
freedom. And that's how I felt. I felt like, yep, I felt like I could do so much more. And I felt like I needed to be free. And that's where the word maroon came from. And strategy,
Right.
because in life and in everything that you do, you have to strategize. So there you
Absolutely.
are, maroon strategist. And here I am today
That
on
is so
October 8th,
awesome.
2020 at 6:19 p.m. And
That is so awesome. And it's an awesome business. It is an awesome company.
well, thank you.
Definitely reach out to her, take advantage of the free 15-minute consultation, and just make sure that I'm over here trying to, you know what, can you go on your, are you on this live on your computer or your, or
I'm on my computer. What do you want me to
okay,
do?
on your cell phone, if you can go to YouTube and post those same links in the chat?
Okay, can I also, okay, one second.
Because I tried to copy and paste them here
Okay, so
to
go to the chat on YouTube.
right, and see
Okay,
if you can post them there.
hold
Um,
on.
the information is free, but this ain't cheap. You
Who said that?
can see Augustine. Yes, you are absolutely right.
No, wait.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure somebody is someone that you know. But yeah, that's why we say that it's an investment.
That is funny. That was really funny.
Yes, it's
Uh,
an investment, definitely. And everybody that is watching, just make sure that you share this live and this information with those that might not have seen it. Right now we are just trying to send you the links. So I sent the first one already. I'm just about to send the second one. I think I actually it might not be bad. I'll put free 15-minute consultation here.
share this live.
Consultation, right?
So where do I
Right.
add it? I added to the chat.
Yeah. I'm actually almost there. I'll have one more link to post.
Oh, I
But yeah, you see it? I'm doing the calendly.com one. So all of you who are watching right now, these are the links that strategist. these are the links that I'm posting here, just making sure that the spelling, everything is correct so that you can get there. This is the calendar, the information.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Right. So for those of you who are watching, is there anyone who has any more questions regarding the topic that we were talking about today? We were talking about business essentials, about our mindset, our attitude, and the tools for success in business. This is still the year of vision. It's the year of 2020 vision. As in my church, we deem it. And it's important even now to have vision. You cannot allow yourself to be consumed and overcome by what's happening in the world. Of course, as humans, we will still be concerned, about what's going on. But we still have to remain strong, stay in faith, and if you don't know God for yourself, please get to know him, and have that close relationship with him, because it'll be all the better in life, in your business. Just as Nadia, mentioned early that she couldn't have done it, without the help of God, in her life, and helping her to push forward, and step out on faith in her business. And I'm sure that many of you can attest to being in, situations or jobs that you might have been in, and just having that desire, that passion to just say, you know what, I want to have my own, you know what I mean? I want to see where I can go with this. And that is so important. So I posted these links here. Nadia, did you finish your craft?
Yes, I did.
So those of you who are watching, um, it's Xcentric Accessories, and this is a live craft and chat session. So while we were talking to everyone here, we were doing a craft, and Nadia's going to show what she did, and then I'm going to show what I did.
This is what I
All right,
did.
now, peace beyond understanding. I love that.
Exactly. That's what I want. That's what I yearn for, is peace. Okay.
Right.
And that's on my trees, the birds flying, and the sun. Okay.
I love it. I
All
love it.
right.
I love it. I love it.
Go.
Yes, yes. And I
Thank
mean, that's it. That's
you.
an yes, that's an encouragement. That's an awesome encouragement for everyone watching. Peace beyond understanding. You are so right, because especially at this time, peace is definitely something that the world needs much of. And if we can have peace within ourselves, that will help all the more, in everything that we do and that we set out to do. So what I'm doing here is I'm just posting the last link, Maroon Strategist, the Facebook one. So that's at maroonstrategist.com, right? And then Instagram, I'm going to post the Instagram link.
It's at Maroon_strategist.
Right. So Instagram is um, at maroon.strategist.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Facebook is at
Underscore, I mean.
strategist, not .com.
Wait. Facebook is at Maroon Strategist.
Yeah, not, it doesn't have the .com.
Oh, no
Yeah.
.com. Okay. Maroon_strategist. Okay.
That's Instagram.
Okay. Strategist. Okay. Facebook has no .com. Okay. All right, cool. So yes. So okay, so Nadia showed her craft, and I'm gonna show what I did. So I made a bracelet while we're here. I was gonna do something else. But
bracelet, because she's the artsy one.
So I did a bracelet just now.
Very nice.
I'm gonna put it on. Right. So I just did that. There's something else I was gonna do, but I was like, you know what? Time is going. So I don't have time to be all intricate with details right now. So I just made a little something simple,
beautiful.
stretchy bracelet. Thank you. So this is one of many things. And so this is Xcentric Accessories. But I do accessories for men, women, and children. So bow ties, pocket squares, jewelry for men and women and children, keychains, and such and things like that.
Oh, nice.
This is one of them, right? So yeah, and also, these, this is a time for COVID, right? This is a
Oh,
time where we got to keep ourselves protected, right? So as much as possible, of course, this is not a medical mask, so to speak, but anything that you can use to protect yourself, by all means. So if you would like to know, or anyone watching this, you would like to know where you can get, a mask, if you want to inquire, Facebook, message on Xcentric Accessories, or Xcentric Accessories at gmail.com, if you want to know more about how you can get your own mask, your own custom mask. Um, just inquire and reach out on Xcentric Accessories on Facebook, or Xcentric Accessories at Gmail. And of course, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So, um, we're also mindful of that this month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right? If you Those of you who are watching, have had family members or loved ones who have passed, from that, myself, who has had loved ones pass from that, and those who are going through it right now, or someone that's going through it, just keep them, in your prayers, especially, this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and especially as ladies, if it is, that time for you to, start getting, mammograms and getting yourself checked, strongly encourage that. Don't wait too long. It's not that we're expecting anything to happen or them to find anything, right? But at the same time, we still want to, make sure that we're doing the necessary things, in general. So, like I said, this was an awesome conversation, an awesome session with you, Nadia. I thank you so much for coming and joining me today and sharing all the information that you've shared. It was just so awesome. And I want to know if you have any last words to say to people watching, a word of encouragement to leave them with.
Yes, I just want to say, remember that you matter. You have something to offer people. Um, Sometimes we don't figure it out quickly.
Right.
Sometimes it takes us time to figure it out, but you have something to bring to the table. You have the
Mm-hmm.
service or product that we are looking for. Okay, we as a community, we as a people, globally, not just locally, not just within your state, but globally. Just reach deep down inside and find it. And if you need help, just create mass help. And if you need to do some brainstorming, put some people you look up to, sit down with them, and let them help you brainstorm. Or take action and start now. And be the best version of you, because the best version of you is within you.
Thank you so much, Nadia.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It was just awesome for you to be here with us. So I've put, for those of you watching, I've placed these links that Nadia shared with you, and she's also giving a free 15-minute consultation if you're ready to go, and step out on faith with your business. And the last thing that I just wanted to share is just for, those of you watching and anyone who will watch after this, to stay positive, to do positive, to think positive, be positive, because that really goes a long way. And the last thing is, I wanted to share a proverb, that also stuck out to me, and it's taken from, chapter 16, verse 3, where it says, "Commit your works to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established." Right? Commit your work to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. So when we commit everything to Him, all of our plans, even if we have no idea what we are doing, even if we are new, in Christ, or the presence of God, new to this whole thing, He said to commit your works, commit everything to him, and they will be established. He didn't say established overnight, but he said they'll be established, right? So thank you again. Thank you, Nadia, so much. And we are going to see everyone later.
Bye.